Hey there boys and girls, Lucky here and welcome back to another CSGO video. Today we're right here once again on cash, and usually if we're right here in cash I'm going to tell you a couple of things that you can do better in CSGO. Now, today I'm not going to talk about any active duty map or any, well, reserved map or anything like that, but about the practice and training maps that you can actually get from the workshop in order to download. So usually when, let's say for example, I'm making a smoke video, and I'll explain in a second what I'm talking about right here. So let's just say you want to do a wall of smoke, so you just do the first one right here, you do the second one in there, and you fly out there, and you got a wall of smoke in here. You can also kind of pass around here to check if there's anyone sitting there, in case you're trying to set up a crossfire from this spot, as well as from down here. Now, the thing is, this is now shown in the video. You can pause the video, go back. I also, in my smoke videos, I got a little circle up, or like a little rectangle in the top left corner that shows you exactly where you gotta, well, position yourself and where to throw that stuff. Many people are then asking me, where's the training map for that, or the practice map? Same again, like, and that's usually the most common thing when I'm talking about stutter stepping. I'm just telling them, well, you just hit the opposite direction key and you can kind of fire accurately like this while you're moving, and they're like, oh, okay, can I have a practice map for that? And that's like a bad mentality, actually. Now, don't get me wrong, practice maps are not bad. They're actually kinda good. They offer you many different things that you can directly practice while being in-game in order to, well, be closer to the actual situation that's going to happen. So, from a practice point of view, they really do help you kind of. But you still have to put in the time and the thought, and especially the work, in order to understand them and properly use them. Many times people just asking for practice maps to learn stutter stepping, for example, and it's just not working like that. Like, when you're trying to stutter step, it's like a long learning process that you gotta repeat over and over and over again, that you can do it efficiently at one point, so that you can do that. Same with like spray control. Like, there are maps that help you with your spray control, but they will just let you fire against the wall like this. And even though this is like helpful to some degree, many people will afterwards then complain, well, if I'm doing it on the practice map, I can control the recoil like this, but as soon as I'm like in-game, I just can't like hit the target anymore, and I'm just kind of off guard, and like it's landing right here, not on the target anymore, and then they're just complaining and saying like, how can I transfer my skills? And this is exactly the point. Like, I think there are two kinds of practice maps. First of all, you got the ones that are just like showing, for example, a box right here, like a rectangle or a circle or like a sign that you gotta shoot. And then there are the ones with the bots. The ones with the bots already a lot better from a perspective in kind of that you actually shooting at player models. So you're kind of getting used to shooting player models, you kind of learn where to shoot them, you kind of learn how they're getting tagged when you shoot them. You're not getting that with a box, because of course when you're trying to track a target and it's moving, let's say this guy's moving and we're tagging him, he's of course being slowed down. And on a practice map with bots, it's already better than the one that's just like having signs pop up and stuff like that that you kind of try to hit. And that's usually like for warm-up. It's like, I would call it dry practice, since you're not actually doing something. It's kind of, you're kind of developing your skills, but it's not really for the game, it's just kind of in the game. So you really have to, when you're trying to get better, CS is a game that you really should regard as some sort of a sport that you want to train in to get better, because you want to put in many hours. Otherwise you're not going to get anywhere, especially if you want to go up high in the ranks. That's just sadly not how it works. You have to put in the time, simply as that. And practice maps can help you with that. But you always want to stay like sharp with your mind. You always want to be critical and self-aware to know what you're actually doing right here with a practice map, what you're practicing, and what's the purpose, and how good you're actually able to translate what you're doing in the practice map into a real game. Like, that's one of the many problems that people have that are only doing practice maps like for hours every day. And then usually it's just like, well, just do deathmatch. That would already be also very helpful, free-for-all deathmatch. But then again, in that scenario, you're not getting used to the spots. You're kind of training your flicking and your tracking, as well as your spray control. But like, since people are spawning everywhere literally, you do not really know where they're coming from. So like, once again, the real best way theoretically is just to play the game in competitive mode, get used to that, repeat over and over and over again. That's the best, the most efficient, and the most reliable way, especially if you're being inconsistent. That's how you're becoming more consistent. Like, guides, tutorials, practice maps, training maps, stuff like that will help you to better understand it, but you gotta put in the time in order to get it. And even though, like, if I tell you, okay, you gotta come out here and then first check this spot. And you're just, okay, every time I come out here, I check this spot. but you gotta understand why I told you that. Usually it's in the beginning of the round. Let's say you've been smoked off right here and you're waiting, and then you're coming out, checking this spot. But then you completely missed the guy who did push up silently right here and will kill you right there. So you gotta be able to translate what you see or what you do in the practice map, or what you have been told in a guide video or in a tutorial video, and you gotta kind of know why. That's the very important question. If you're able to answer the why, it'll help you a lot. Now, this was not quite a tutorial video. This one right here is more like a self-help video, I guess, to help you guys to actually understand how you would improve your practice or your training, and I hope this kind of helped you. I hope the examples were kind of clear. It's a little hard to understand. It's like one of the things, once you get better and your game sense builds up and you got experience, those two things, they will come to you, like you'll know them. That's why you should play it over and over again. At one point you know those kind of things, and when you're a new player, you don't really know, you're just kind of trying to imitate, which is fine at first, like try to imitate the pros and stuff like that. It kind of works alright since you're already doing it, and later on you understand how to do it, but just make sure that you eventually will understand why and how, especially why. The how is usually easier to learn as the why. So yeah, I think it's pretty much for now, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and luckySkillFaker out.